Nigeria has regressed. We don't have people in office anymore who are young enough to feel the pain of a young family. In the last 20 years, Ayake Nwuniroti president, all our presidents are now in 60s and above. Now we are getting closer to 80. Babangida was 44 when he became head of state. Buhari was 42. I was 42 when I left as minister. With a very young population anyway. We've gone from very mid-age young presidents to almost gerontocracy. At a certain age, you don't have memory anymore. It's important that we reflect the dynamics of our society. People who still have memory need to come closer to power. I don't think anybody should be bothering about Igbo marginalization or absence in certain positions. The more serious issue is the demise of the Igbo language. Igbo language in retreat. We have a next generation coming, half of which are Igbo. We need to revitalize language because without language, there is no culture. If we build our people in our culture, it will be easy for us to domesticate democracy. The North has Emirate system. The Yorubas have Obas. But I think that the ultimate Nigeria, where everybody must end up in, is the Igbo society, where every man is equal. Because whether we like it or not, the whole idea of kings and serfs is antithetical to the idea of democracy. So we were not saying unity. I the advanced, they will still come to where we are. That is elitism of ability, not elitism of heritage. 20 million children out of school. Number of students in school were the best in Nigeria. 93% of whom Anambra see primary school, Nigeria secondary school, highest in Nigeria. Amorom why we always denigrate ourselves. Amorom more the war melaya. So if I get mebu no nyo obuna geji ike me career, we can't succeed if the majority do not have quality education, and that's my passion now. Many people cannot afford to go to university because they need to work, they need to trade. So the idea of open university came. My career be monotechnic. We may become a polytechnic as we go on. From our OND, you can go straight to university. Yes. You can go on and do HND. You can start working with your OND. So they have 3 pathways ahead of them. We want people to have skills, not certificates alone. So we attached it with global certifications because I want to prepare Nigerians for the global market. We're making it easy because there is no way we're going to have 3-4 million young people in tertiary education. We don't have the manpower to even educate them. But with our online schooling, you can be attending classes online that opens new pathways for you. So my career is my experiment, an attempt to say Nigeria needs middle manpower and we need to be intentional about creating it.
Gbam, 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 gbam. Anybody who can say me and not get gbam, you guys know we do it. Abuna oburo gbam, imana oburo gbam. Obuni nwere obi eti kwa na aru if you no get my common body. Eba ayi na-ekwu yo da gbam. Ayi na-ekwu yo kwuo yi n'obi. Eba ayi na-akpọta ndị ọdịka and the big names, the big talkers. Ndị bụ nova kwuo yo da gbam. People may go do 1 or 2 things when it comes to impact and changing their generation. Tata afambo unu mwana onye mbo Chidoka Igwendo dogbubu yambapa ezigbote onye aba. Tata enwe m nnekwu mmanwụ maka na ejeles na ya na mmọnwụ zara agba n'ọgbọ. Tata enwe m a man that a lot of us has followed his journey. A lot of us heard his stories, and then today I nwere first hand. This is a man that has actually impacted his society. He is the former aviation minister. The federal head, Federal Road Safety Commission, and this is a man that loves fitness, a cultural enthusiast. A man that na ichorali latia, abuna mama chinyere food, kinele, nele si ike, netanya bofo fuma 1 or 2 days, you got free and obey. Kanabatano Chief Barrister Osita Chidoka Ikobosi, Governor. No, Nabam. We're so grateful to have you. You are looking so dapper. Onye for your mom kana Kenya. Mom kana no OG. No na boss. No. Kawala nke donye bụ Osita Chidoka. Go ahead please.
Ọbụna nna aga n'ụzọ ajụọ m kedu onye bụ Osita Chidoka. Amakọ m ife mma azafa. Mana m ga-asị na Osita Chidoka bụ onye Obosi na Anambra State. Eje m akwụkwọ n'Enugu, amụ m n'Enugu, nto n'Enugu. Eje m akwụkwọ na Zik Avenue Primary School, Union Secondary School, Ọkụnanụ, Enugu. Enugu campus, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus. See, I have youth service in Abuja. Luona youth service, we know NYC award, so automatic employment.
Wow.
In Abuja. So I worked with General Husseini as his protocol officer and minister then. I worked with Chief Okete, Minister of State, Works and Housing, Ogendi 26. I was PA to Minister of State, Works and Housing. Chief Okete, Muni Alosiana Works. Then I came back again, worked with General Kontagorana FCT, and then Bunu before Ojo Madeko, where we second Biabulu PA and a transport. Nyakan losses in a transport 2003, and Wesifo came back and Jeguko. Natural Miva Minister, Cheramid na loso PA, Cheramid professional PA, can Jeguko. So in Java America, Muso J Singapore, may graduate diploma in transport. Then J America, may masters. And then joined with ExxonMobil in America. So I'm malo for ExxonMobil in Nigeria when Obasanjo made me call Marshal in 2007. Then I did that for 7 years. Then Bolivia Minister of Aviation. Finish here. Sekwa kanachi azuno na ukwo zokwa. Njekwaje go law. Finish law. And last 2024, Mbidozie Ifana for Athena Centre for Policy and Leadership, where I'm currently the Chancellor. Athena Centre is a think tank in Abuja, a research institute that is for policy. So we look at policies and government ideas, do the thinking. But Ibulu minister, Ibulu governor, Ibulu president, you want to each of the things again. Yes. Because every day you will all to do. You will meetings, you will this. So all over the world, think tanks, Bondina, HSC on different topics and government solutions which they can apply. So I'm at Athena Centre in Abuja. We have a media component, Clear Path Media, that we operate, and then we're the Mekaria Institute of Technology and Leadership. Okay. Obusi. It's a NBTE accredited monotechnic. We got our accreditation in late 2025, so we're starting this year. Okay. Mekaria Institute, and computer science, media technology, mass comm, and public administration. But the most interesting thing about Mekaria is that it's the first OND program that has gone online. You can actually go to school with us online. And we're going to expand on that. So, in a nutshell, that is Osita Chidoka.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I'll come back to the monotechnic because there's something very innovative in Alibo. I'm in Enugu. You know, it's on Enugu. Kedu the place of Enugu in Igbo land? I say now, and we're a big man named on Enugu, and most of some of you people, both Igbo elite, something to do with Enugu. What is the place of Enugu in Alibo? Go ahead, please.
Enugu is capital of Eastern region. And before Bolo capital of Eastern region, Ifemele Enugu Jimeye bu coal. Enugu bu the first time ndi Igbo nwere urbanization. Ndi Igbo nwere an urban center. Because Igbo society before the colonial masters was a largely rural and I would say forest area. So onye bi n'Awka unlikely amaro onye bi n'Obosi. Onye bi n'Obosi amaro ndị Olu. The only people who go around the Igbo land bụ ndị Aro. All ndị Aro bụ ndị bido go around in the course of their slave trading and their other trades. So ndị Igbo enwere urban centers, mafu onye Awka osigi na ya bi na Onitsha because anyị nwere urbanization. Mana Enugu was the first time ebe afu coal, ndị ọcha bịa lụọ coal mine, ndị mmadụ jebe there. So people for the first time left the land and connected to an urban center where you are now gị na ndị mmadụ na-meet mana ụna adịrọ related. Because in the old Igbo society, onye ọbụla bi with their relation. Ịbata na Obosi sef ije onye ọbụla bi with ụmụnne ya. Then from there to the larger village. Man, you check I ain't any bumu ofonye no bosi. Same thing Noka, same thing no Joto, same thing Nokwa. Anywhere you go, people are family. But Enugu was the first opportunity in the Igbo Ibi without
intertwined.
Yes, Igbo from the same parents or from the same village. So Enugu from there, Kaisi Wengwebezi other capitals or became Imo Owerri, Umuahia. But the core was Enugu.
The meeting point.
What was even more interesting, but Enugu was the capital of Eastern Region. Eastern Region was the state that started from River Niger to Obudu and to River State. So the whole of Eastern Region was about 70-something thousand square kilometers. That's what you now have almost 10 states, about 9 states that make up the Eastern Region. 5 here and 4 in the south. Rivers, Bayelsa, Cross River and Akwa Ibom. All of this together was what made Eastern Region. So Enugu holds an important place. Enugu be a very important center of Igbo culture, Igbo civilization, and Igbo development. Chinua Achebe lived in Enugu, Oregon, Radio Nigeria. One of the things fall apart. Arrow of God. Ekwensi, Binenugu, Jagunana, and co. Zeke was premier in Enugu. Same thing with Michael Opera and the rest of them. People like Imoke from Cross Rivers, Ije Nigeria, Enugu, Igafu streets like Imoke, and all of that. We're all living in Enugu. So Enugu was a major melting point of Eastern development.
Since that can come back Enugu, Ego University in Enugu. Let's just go through your days in UNN campus.
Yes, Enugu campus.
Anyway, very young picture of you that I saw. I think was it that had to do with activism. Can do him at UNN? Do you have any stint with the whole youth earnestly seek for Abacha back in the day?
I graduated to go then. When I seek is if Abacha not as in university, I went on June 12.
Oh, Abiola. Sorry. Yes, Abiola. Can you guide us through the whole journey of as because some of us Bocha students now what was your school days like, and then that was pro-democracy and everything. What happened? What role did you play? Go ahead, please.
So, to 1992-93, I started a campaign to run for Nan's president. And the idea was that he was coming to Nan's Zone B for Nan's presidency. So I formed about Eastern Youth Forum, Enugu campus, which we affiliated to Eastern Mandate Union, Dr. Tonwankwo, 4th Dimension Publishers. So, Kanna campaign, and from there, Kaisi support the June 12th election. Just the June 12th, where the annulment. So 93, Kaiji was 94. Kaine just to do the election in Ibadan. We got to Ife, I think it was in Ife. And when crisis, we couldn't agree. Nan's election, we couldn't agree. So I had to leave in Abani that day. In fact, that day, I know there. So we left Ife. I came out to Ore, where I was Lagos. Lagos, in Jeffo, Kamba Muzo, Nate Enugu. I will be for as SG Koku. Kosele Kaisije, Owenya letter. I meet here some people in Lagos who got support. One of the letters on Mbuto Stanley Ebuchuku, the editor of the Concord newspapers then. So Aje Fujo for a few people, they donated money to us. Kaiwe mobilize again, came a new convention. So Kanlu na nke Stanley Ebochukwu, always na MKO Abiola Chokwani reclaim mandate here. And no mandate pros in June 12 supporters, even MM advert na newspaper in 1993, selling on youth to vote for Abiola. So OSM wonderful. Mama got Chief Abiola and CIS. No, Bobe Abiola say book the appointments. I went and I saw Chief MKO Abiola.
One-on-one.
One-on-one. Owemem introduced to his wife, Kudirat, and his personal assistant, Fred Eno. We need support. We see because I was the Nance president because Nyaga like students support in reclaiming his mandate, that 94. So we're not from Lagos. I was in at the non-zombie. Kaizo no ebe na-eme Eastern Solidarity. Kaizo no the Nance presidency to ndị other parts of Zombi na abụrụ onye Igbo. Ka o jee to the non-Igbo part. So we jebe Owerri, je meet onye na-akpọ Dennis Inyang, who was running too. We see okay, ka I support onye nwa. Ebe ọ bụ onye Cross River, nọdị na Futo. So mgbe kpọrọ ya je achị azụ Jefo Abiola. He supported us. I joined the convention. Dennis Inyang became Nan's president. So all of us now are late to support him. We were then against Abacha. So we supported him. We declared we are president. Nance was the first body that rejected Abacha because we were in Abiola Bano before I went in Nance president. So we rejected Abacha's conference. Dennis Inyang, member of the constitutional conference. I said I had a general illegitimate government. So actually, I nearly didn't graduate because then DSS naturally because now when they naturally support Abiola. So I kept going. Mona Kudirat na Bazoge detained Abiola and all of that.
Yes.
I did all of that until 95 when I graduated, and then went to Abuja for youth service. So it was one of the, every time Kudirat came to Abuja, I was always there to receive her, and we go to court, she will leave. So in the course of that, on Nazi Lagos, I think she was planning to travel, because we spoke on the phone. Nona plan a travel. For Bobo and Lagos. That time, Fred Eno, money I say na Sheraton and poor. Kambezi again back when the DSS Apologia. I later located him in Enugu prison. So it was a very turbulent period, and we played our part in supporting that. We believed it. Traveled most of this country, mobilizing students, supporting the cause for the de-annulment of June 12. So eventually in 98, Abacha died, and then Abiola himself died, and then the democracy came. So by that time, I was now working in the FCT in Abuja.
First time you witnessed what some of us, by Pempe, I know also Abiola,
Yes.
Some of us also Abiola. Mamaka also Abiola. What?
I don't know Lagos, and my parents had been in Lagos at that time. So it was everybody took off. Because we were afraid. Maybe the crisis again.
After the election was annulled, after Abiola.
After the election was annulled.
Okay.
Yes. But everybody went back after nothing significant happened. But Ndibo were worried. Now, if I got a message, I could tell that one Ndibo nisi. So, Kaicha
as somebody who one-on-one interaction and the relationship with them, MKO, Kedo Odem Madobo.
Very bold, and when I look back and I'm thinking, Abiola in that 1993 was about 53 or 54 years old. About 54 years old. So age I'm the now.
Yes. Wow.
So in Nigeria has regressed. He was a 55-year-old man. The mother's quite even a young man.
Yes.
Abiola was that. Abacha was 53 at the time. Was head of state. Babangida was 44 when he became head of state. Now, 44-year-old men are looked upon as
content creators, or maybe TikTokers.
TikTokers. Abiola was 40. Obasanjo was not Obasanjo. IBB was 44 when he overthrew Buhari. Buhari was 42 when he left office. I remember that because I was 42 when I left as minister. So I remember that Buhari was 42 when he left office as head of state. And that is the sad part in Nigeria, that we don't have people in office anymore who are young enough to feel the pains of a young family. And I will explain that.
Igbo gba gburugburu kedu ife mezi na o ji bụrụ na ebe anyị kwesịrị ịtụnye ego na ya ratụ izi nya bụ ego ebe afọ ọkwa imugo nwa ka ya amụ echi inugo nwaanyị ị ga-anụ echi kabakwa alụ kịta ka ị gbara ana afọ ịgbalụ nwee ike ịpụta echi bụrụ ife ga-aba gị ọgaranya bụrụ ife ị ga-eji wee ko all these big men ịfụ na Igbo ana mere ọtụtụ ihe ha bụ bịa gbara ana kịta nke ikpeazụ a Pine ga-emenwu ya Pine the only trusted estate anyị ma ka emesịa nụ.
Onye mụ na ya na-akpa nkata from British Embassy. So we see na papa, my friend, was a gynecologist to Nigerian's president. So Gowon's wife, IBB's wife, Obasanjo's wives. And it then dawned on me that in the last 20 years, I came when the president when he was president. That is, all our presidents are now in 60s and above. Now we're getting closer to 80s. Because what that does is that at a certain age, you don't have memory anymore of what it means to have a family of 3 children, juggling school, paying school fees, paying for this. So our leadership, periodically needs to reflect how our society is. Because the demography of our society is a very young one. And the young part of it is that, those above 60 are less than 3% of our population. So it's important that once in a while, that we reflect the dynamics of our society so that people who still have memory of what it means to juggle a family, to train children to school, to make our public schools work, to make our public health centers work, those people need to come closer to power so that they can at least, there has been disappointments or there has been young people who have gone to public office and haven't done well. So it's not a case that an older person will not do well. But I'm just saying that with a very young population anyway, we've gone from very mid-age young presidents to now almost gerontocracy. Everybody is waiting for their turn and, age is getting further and further away. Yes.
Dalo. Recently, I follow you a lot. You commended the presidency for honoring Ato Wankwo and others when it comes to this June 12th.
Yes.
Can you ekwu maka the odika bankete odika also MKO be able the hero of June 12th? Can you elaborate on why you made that clarion call? Na ekwesi ononya na ndi ozo play this round. Then kedu role if in a play that you think that negligence shouldn't be on the table?
So when the president honor the mother for June 12th, the first honor, it was a Yoruba list. And I was like, no, June 12th was not a Yoruba matter. It was a national matter. Anom n'Enugu mgbe anyị planụ ndị na-deko bịala Enugu, Abraham Adesanya, Bola Ige, Lawani Ayoku, they came to Enugu, ha ji night bus ka security ala ekwosifa. Ewebe declare na deko n'Enugu, ma Abraham Adesanya national leader, Ato Wankwo deputy and Dan Suleiman. Na ba Ato Wankwo n'Enugu na 4th dimension. Anom Ato Wankwo je Commonwealth meeting to push for the de-annulment of June 12th. Nata back into Nigerian airport, everybody was afraid na gave me arrest. In Siaya Nataba, I was the liaison between Eastern Mandate Union and Kudirat. Omune Josie between them, Mbaya night bus, Nje Lagos, Nesha Muni Apusia, Natabe Zikwato Ifoku. So I knew that on the day Abacha died, Ato was in detention with Udenta. Hano Nenugu in detention. Mbiaka Mfufa Asina Madama Afufa. Muna Victor Wanne Ato. Victor Wankwo. So it was na Abacha Nwoze Kejwe release Ato because they were planning to take them to Lagos, to Abuja the day Abacha won.
The very day?
Yes, the day Abacha won. That was the day they were planning to move them. They were seeing Abacha won that morning. They were manacled in chains and detained. Ato suffered about 4 detentions, Udenta about 6. So it would be unfair to talk about June 12th and not talk about people like Ato and June and Udenta. To show you how the role Eastern Mandate Union played, when Alliance for Democracy was formed, the Mbafo Alliance for Democracy, they zoned the National Secretary to Eastern Mandate Union. That's how Udenta became the first National Secretary of Alliance for Democracy, the party that produced 5 governors in the Southwest, including Bola Tinubu. If we played no role, yes, if we didn't play any role in June 12, why was Udenta made secretary of this? The fact that they disagreed with him along the line, the fact that he has gone in another political trajectory, does not diminish the fact that they played a role in June 12. And when they announced the names and said, don't forget that all this list of journalists and where you went and fixed Ato's name, Nato was deputy national chairman of NADECO with Dan Suleiman. So you should put them in a different category. He was in detention when Abacha died, where you people were in exile. He was here. He was abroad going to give a lecture in Commonwealth. He could have stayed abroad if he was afraid. But he came back to Nigeria and suffered the detention here when you people were in London and in America, which is okay. You are campaigning there, but he paid the price here. So that's why I wrote a very painful article then that no, they should be recognized. So when he did recognize them, I applauded him for that and said, but it's not yet over. There are more people. Udenta should be recognized. Edwin Umadnago should be recognized because he was a man who was an editorial board of The Guardian. He was a communist and he was very vehement in his support for June 12. Somebody like Gigi Dara, somebody like Fred Eno, Abiola's personal assistant. Nenugu prison Kanchotalia, nobody knew his whereabouts. We thought Nafe Buge until I got information not the on Enugu. So I went to Enugu prison and found him there. He nearly died in the prison. So this shouldn't be, it wasn't a Yoruba fight. And we shouldn't ethnicize it. So that's why I felt very strong about it. And then also congratulated the president for listening and making amends and asking him to do more. Nyamekaria.
Dalu, Nyamekaria Institute of Technology and Nutrition. Ibo onye Obosi, ka anyị banye Obosi Ụkwala. Kedu ife mere Obosi ji wee bụrụ obodo no anụ mmadụ atọ nụ ịghọtago onye na-abụrụ onye Obosi a na-agụ ya. Kedu ife mere Obosi ji wee dị ebube? Go ahead.
Obosi ife anyị ji bụrụ Obosi erika, mana the most important bụ anyị bụ obodo na-eke ike and anyị bụ obodo na-afụ nwanne n'anya. Maka na anyị na-eke ike, anyị na-ebikọ ọnụ. Ibe na Obosi ifu na compound niile dịkọrọ ọnụ. Onye ọbụla bikọrọ ọnụ, anyị ji ebiri n'elu ugwu anwa ka anyị wee na-afụ onye na-abịa abịa. Maka ndị Obosi na-eke ikiri nne.
Yes.
So anyị bụ obodo ama maka anyị na-azọsi okwu ike naanị. And anyị na-ama nwanne. No matter etu o si dị anyị na Obosi, nwanne ife niile ka o si so nasịa ife niile nasịa nwanne ada ana na Obosi. So o mere anyị dị united. Mekwa ife ọzọ nyere anyị aka bụ na anyị fụrụ ndị ọcha gboo fa abịa si Ọnịcha bata Obosi. So ndị Obosi jere akwụkwọ gboo jee akwụkwọ na-alụ ọrụ na public service. Anyị abụkebere ndị na-azụ afịa, anyị abụkebere businessmen, mana anyị bụ ndị ama maka akwụkwọ. And so that is why anyị ji nwee the Igbo translation of Ekpere na Abụ of ancient and modern bụ onye Obosi mere ya Eneli. So icheke ndị bịa Okwuchukwu ma Ọka down to Enugu, many of them bụ ndị Obosi. My grandfather was a catechist. O je school na onwe grade 1 mgbe a na-enwe onye na-enwe distinction na primary 6. So ndị ọcha kpọrọ ya oje school. Ebe afọ ka afọ anyị nọ wee ghọọ Chidoka. Afọ anyị bụ Chidomunka.
Okay.
Ha wee shortenzie ya to Chidoka.
Okay.
Yes. So he was a catechist and started churches, Anglican churches across many communities. Mgbe ndị arọ ndị izu ọgụ mee 100 years of St. Andrew's Obi n'etiti, they invited us because the pulpit did there with my grandfather Lulia, Bulia from Obosi. We arọ ndị izu ọgụ. It took 2 weeks to get it arọ ndị izu ọgụ. So ndị Obosi played a major role in the spread of Christianity in Igbo land.
Obosi nkwa ndị na-akpa ya larị nne biko kedu ifu na-eme anọgide asịkwa eji wee gbara ọkọt asị ka ihe na-eme as a community about it and then give me eji anụkali such a bad news around Obosi and then when you na-eme about it.
All the aftermath of urbanization, unplanned urbanization. Obosi was a traditional rural society that got urbanized without the institutions to manage urbanization. So 3/4 of ndị bi n'Obosi kịta abụrụ ndị Obosi. 3/4 of ndị bi n'Obosi abụrụ ndị Obosi.
Ndị mbịambịa.
Yes. So, and anyị enwero the infrastructure to manage urbanization. So, which is a lesson for government. As a place begins to urbanize, it is important to create the institutions for urbanization. Because the traditional institution of Eze na ndị Ichie, but for people who subscribe to the Obosi worldview. But what of the people who are not Obosi indigenes and all of that?
Yes.
We need to have a process, a enforcement system, a court system that reflects our urban status. The population of Obosi is grown wide. I mean, we have one of the largest wards in Nigeria, the highest registered voters for a single ward for Obosi. So it is the institutionalization of urbanization that needs to occur to manage the negative impacts of urbanization. Even beyond the violence, the children not going to school, managing our waste, managing our water, water in the town, waste management.
Yes.
All of these are things that as we progress, communities that are not like, say, Oka or Onitsha, many communities are urbanizing like Obosi. So there needs to be a framework for those communities to manage urbanization. And that's a major challenge in Obosi. But as in the Obosi, we are managing it. We are pushing back at the externalities and trying to create a culture that accepts our urban status and at the same time preserves our traditional institutions.
Dalo. Unu bụkwa unu dịkwa very big on culture. Enwe ihe unu bido that I don't know, anyị Igbo kwesịrị ịbịa pay unu homage na ite ọgbọ Obosi ịkwa mmadụ mgbe ọ dị ndụ. You know, it's something that's very commendable. You know, Obosi bidoli and anụkwu ụmụ na ụfọdụ self na-eche kavata ọgbọ ọ bụgoro na onye nwa chọọ ịnwụ ọ chelo that na enwe ndị bụ na emesi enya ojebe the next day.
My uncle, my father's brother, he was very sick. He had cancer. But Osino Ngorebia Neje. Niabu secretary in Obuya for financial secretary for almost 30 years. So Niaga Ania Keto this Obo. And a treat here, Ubosi Otolobo, Ebu, Asia no dino no, Sino Meme, Yagi Bugeliana, the venue. Bujiana the venue, from there another to my house. No say and the mother, na Baziogu. Now, shortly after, he passed.
Ojawalo?
My father told about 2006. And so this year he's turning 100. So Ndobwe, a few of them can who are all 100, 101 this year and operating. Because we adore and respect old age. So old age aburo a burden. It's a pride for us in Obosi. Now, my father been Abuja. Na money be a pride to me. No to Lobo be a pride to my family. Every family next year be Tobo Obosi. You will be my guest.
Thank you,
Tobo Obosi 2027. Ibia Christmas and Obosi kita and the mother manatarinne. Because everybody na kwado for March. 2027. In order to hire canopy today no Obosi for next year. Hire sige oche up to Onitsha, up to Ogidi, or bandi mother hire sige now kwado
ahead
for Itobo, because every family is proud to say Nene Itobo na buy all my father's siblings to Lobo -1 kana nunenugu, but every other person in my family to Lobo, and we are proud of it. We are looking forward to Ndi Ozoku Itobo, because when a community does not see old age as a burden but sees it as a mark of honor, Ichira n'Obosi Ichiro ndị Ichie mekpu okpu red. Ukpuru da ifu na-ekpu n'Obosi nwere onye Obosi ifu ukpu ya na-abụrụ onye chi ndị Ichie ma abụ mmadụ. mana itoro ọgbọ na obosi gburu okpu red. That's the mark of respect we have.
Is that Banu Ogbuefi? Yes, Ogbuefi is not Ogbuefi.
Yes, ime atụzi dues na obosi, ime emezi anything. Onwerozi ife ime obosi ga-apụ.
Ibugolo an elder statesman.
Ibugo an elder statesman. Ị na-aga na ịpụta n'ụzọ, onye ọbụla achala gị. Ịbata n'afịa, people enyela aka. So it becomes a thing of joy and pride.
A badge of honor.
Yes, to be old. Unlike societies, when old age means you take in an old people's home. And now, see, no, the older you are, involved. So you know, if you're Ogbuefi, you can do it for Mama as an age school. Ogbuefi, you know, because it is something we cherish. I'm not going to say the culture. I have to warfare. Mana, it's something that we all love as Ndi Obosi. March 2027, God keeping all of us, we'll be there again to celebrate the NATO bodies time around.
Because I'm na onye ọbụla agụ na agụ batara n'ụbọchị n'ite ọgbọ. All 1 week.
1 week celebration.
All 1 week, yes, back to back.
Yes.
It is a very nice one.
Yes.
You too, in a Igwalaju Bulu culture, Nisi. Why do you love Igbo tradition like this? You carry yourself, you project some of those initiation and keze even do kana be amana pota ni igwe. In a video, you know, you project your tradition a lot. Yes. Why do you do that?
I don't think I'm here by accident. I think God decided that I will be born an Obosi man and that I will be from Anambra. So nothing is more authentic than Mu Ibo Onye Obosi representing my Obosiness.
Obosiness,
that is
a new one.
Authenticity.
Obosiness.
Yes. My Obosiness is the authentic part of me. And culture is an important ingredient in development. Culture. Because just today, I just came back to an office, I was sharing a post I made. I came to give a lecture on Nnamdi Azikiwe. And I told them in 2004, this Okija shrine story broke.
Ugwapu.
Then Shegu Adeniyi wrote a story titled Okija, A Show of Shame. Ndị Igbo niile dịka anyị ga-ekpudo iru naanị na ndị Igbo ka na-eje na shrine na-eme nka. So I'm in America then. I was at Oxford University on an exchange program. I was a graduate student then. So I replied him in an article in 2004 titled Okija, Not a Show of Shame. I said, what Okija is not the corpses, it's not the shrine. What Okija is a loss of confidence in the state. The fact that people manafaje police ga analo bribe pay for ọzọ, nafaje court, nafa with judgment, they reverted back to something that they know every woman will respect. So whether it is genuine or false is not the issue. The issue is that the modern state has failed the people. Okabu na the state they fail, right? We will have been going to the police and the courts to solve our problem. So EJ Ifedeka na Italy, when they have a problem, they go to the mafia because they don't trust the state. In any society where the state has failed, if you got
alternative.
So which is why culture is key. If we build our people in our culture, it will be easy for us to domesticate democracy. It will be easier for us to domesticate these foreign culture beliefs we have brought in. Because if everybody in Sobukita and Obodobuna, Ibata no Obosi, or na ya village na Aba, you know, go na to Lego Muna for Nyebulia.
That's not possible.
That's not possible.
That's not possible.
If you go more adaka fatu si ega sino onye
that's not possible.
We add ya ego. Okay. The same people, none at their village, now they will ego from ego out on their community. It's irafa na local government office. Fe welon ket na local government.
Holike.
Yes, Makagini. He has disconnected from what he believes is an authentic society. He's now in something on that was it Olu Yibo, which is in Kendi Ocha. So if open ijeta dia umunna ga say, ya welon atano nka ijeta na nka baf. So if onye jelo luo Igbo dị corrupt, ọ nata luo ụlọ, ndị be ya sị, hey, nwa be anyị nọ na-eme ọfụma nnọọ. Because they do not connect it to what is in their belief system.
It's election season again. Dear esteemed political candidates, are you aware that a good media visibility and advert can help boost your chances of winning? What are you waiting for? Gbam Interview is offering you this campaign space to tell Indigo why they should vote for you. Contact us today with the numbers on your screen.
Mana ọ bụla ị ga-etu n'obosi for ite ọgbọ a, ekpe ya aka, okwu na ụka adanụ. Yes. Onye ọbụla jụọ kedu meeting ndị ọgbọ gị na village, ndị ọgbọ mbịa meeting kịta, anyị bidogodinu kedu ị ga-atụ, kedu onye ji onye dị na bank. Accountability dị na our local society. So Igbo culture is an interesting culture.
No task force. Onye ọbụla mụ ihe ọ na-eme. And can call you
somebody Gbam, which I think so much about. American founders, the 50 people who founded America, who wrote the founding document, one of them was Jefferson, who became the 3rd president of the US. There was Monroe, there was George Washington, and they wrote, we hold this truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal. So this, my friend, hold it there. In which society in the West are men created equal? That in the Western world, societies are kings, dukes. They were lineages in the Western world.
Yes.
So they have no culture of all men created equal.
Yes.
You see how that's correct? I say nowhere in the West was all men created equal.
Yes.
They were always distinguished by family, by inheritance. Okay? You say, okay. Awesome. It was the Igbo slaves who came to America, who carried these men, that told them stories of a place where they came from, where everybody was equal, where everybody spoke at the community meeting and arrived at decision. That the concept of all men are created equal came from Igbo slaves who told the stories to those who held them hostage, that in our culture, nobody was a slave. Onye ọbụla bụ ọchịchị onye kwuru uche ya, onye ọbụla na-ekwu obi ya, abata na ọgbọ, onye ọbụla ekwuo nke ekwucha ekwekọta. Anyị nwere eze ebe fasi. So the idea n'obodo enwere eze and n'obodo dị free. My friend and my nna m ochie bụ Nwazọta say, no ndị Igbo wete that idea,
the concept,
which they now developed and matched with even the democracy of the Greeks and these people that people talked about, that all men are created equal, is a concept I ain't check with here.
Already?
Because in Igbo culture, when you hear the kind of papa give nka, mona mama give, mbano, everything you have, you must earn. Okonkwo's father, Naro, things fall apart, was a poor farmer. He couldn't do well. He was a flutist, Unoka. When Okonkwo came, by dint of hard work, he took all the titles in Umuofia. That's the Igbo society. Everybody can go to any height. Nothing precludes you from getting to any height. So the idea of culture of the Igbo society, I believe that Nigeria, the North has leadership in the form of emirate system, emirs and co. The Yorubas have Obas and co up to Bini. People think it's a form of advancement, maybe. But I think that the ultimate Nigerian, the ultimate African, where everybody must end up in, is the Igbo society, where every man is equal and opportunity is equalized. So we have equal opportunity, but not equal outcomes. So that you became a big farmer is from the dint of your hard work, not because of the absence of opportunity. So the ultimate Nigerian, the ultimate African, has to adopt the democratic culture and the equality culture of the Igbo man to break through, to become the new man. Because whether we like it or not, the whole idea of kings and serfs, of servants and leagues, is antithetical to the idea of democracy, to the idea of equality, that all our votes count. That whether you are a prince or a king, your one vote is equals to the one of a serf and a servant. So that whole concept means that the idea of superiority due to parentage will bound to collapse ultimately. Everybody. So ndị Igbo na-ewiwe na-asị na ya enwero unity. Nsifa mba. Ọ bụrụ unity ka ya enwero. I dị advanced. Or if I dị. That unity will stage, they will still come to where we are, where opportunity is equal and everybody is equal. No one is greater than other by birth. It is by, that is elitism of ability, not elitism of heritage.
If you have this opinion, can you place this in your analogy? The whole idea, this is an Igbo concept already, equality, all men are born equal. Can you place this idea of Nonya Bunze, Ozo, Nonya Bosu, Nonya Bunworu, Nonya Bo? Where do you place that? In
Igbo society, all these are attributes of self-determination.
Self.
Ichi Ozo, Iga alote ego, weje chi Ozo. Right? It is you. It is not conferred.
Just the way it is
yes, nna gị nwere ike chie gị ọzọ mana egi ya ka ọ ga-eji chi gị ọzọ gị nwanyị chọkwa ichie nwa gị ma ichiri nwa gị anụ nwa gị nwere ego echi ọzọ apụọ from bunu. So tata abụ m ike obosi ọ bụrụ na ndị ọsị anaba my son echiro ndị ichie there will be no ndị ichie in Chidoka family again or any of my cousins or brothers. So it is not going to transfer from me to my son or to my grandson. It is that each of them must prove themselves and come to the party with equal hands. So in the societies we created in Igbo land are societies of distinguishing yourself through effort. Unfortunately, one of the backdrops of Igbo society is that the idea of Osu, as I heard, was some people will Baba Nalo say for protection. And say now losing Wazifa, and they stayed there. Initially, it was not a bad thing, but eventually it's gone the way it has gone. Mana, Igbo society will not advance until we let go of the culture of Osu, and I will tell you why. It is the most pernicious and evil culture that any society can have. When something that was done long before you were born hands over to you by hereditary, it is contrary to everything we believe as Igbo people. Everybody in Igbo land struggles for what you become. So even if somebody was Osu, it shouldn't transfer to the child because that was what was wrong with slave trade. Before the black slave trade came, Ndocha na-esi from Ireland, na-esi from Italy, be America, bolo servants. Mana ilugide olulute ego, igbalo onwe gị from onye ego gị. After you finish, your children continue their life. It was racial slavery, black slavery, that introduced the idea
of transfer.
So you now began to look for women to breed so that the owner more. And it was evil. That was why the world came together and abolished slave trade. Why will we have anything in our culture that allows it to transfer from a father to a child? It is totally irrational and evil. So any person who judges another person and says no Bosu, that person is not truly Igbo. Because the whole idea of Igbo is equal opportunity and equal outcome. What makes us Igbo is because we believe no onye ọbụla ga-alụ ọlụ to distinguish himself. That nothing comes to you by just mere being the son of Mr. A or Mr. B.
You work for it.
You work for it. So why will we transfer something as pernicious and evil as to a child? It is abomination. It is evil. It is not Igbo culture. And I stand to be corrected. Anybody who believes in it is not an Igbo man.
Anti-Igbo.
He is very totally anti-Igbo. This is the culture we need to let go of. Nothing can transfer from father to mother in a culture where we believe that the lowest person can get to the highest heights. So if it was a mistake we made in the past, it's a mistake we must let go of now. We must never be heard saying it to any other culture, because we as a people will suffer if we continue to discriminate, if we continue to bound others when all men are created equal. That even the idea of that came from Igbo slaves. So it is something that I totally feel very passionate about. I feel very strongly about it. I feel it is a blow on Igbo society that we today still believe in such a thing. So anybody I heard who says, you could say be my friend. Yes, if you describe anybody as also, you can be my friend. I will not, you can't. It's not something I will accept. Because it is discrimination.
In the spirit of your love for culture, I'm a community What do you say about Ikem is my friend and a big brother? Can you for about cultural music, especially that of Ikem Manzele, but no, yes. What do you say about his songs and other cultural music? Go ahead, please.
So, music is of the spirit. That is why 16th century music, Mozart, Beethoven, they're still playing today, because music is eternal, it's timeless. So no again, it goes to the core of who I am. It goes to the core in a place where no other music touches me, because music, art, is the expression of culture.
It is.
Yes, it is the expression of who we are. So whenever my best books are Igbo authors, whether it is Chinua Achebe's Arrow of God, which is my best book in the world. I read it every year.
Wow.
Yes, Arrow of God. Followed by Things Fall Apart, Things Fall Apart lovers. It's it, but I sponsored the Just Repertory Theatre to bring it on stage, Arrow of God. Even Things Fall Apart, I brought it on stage. And last year, I acted in Arrow of God in Abuja. I was Abuja Amemuso December show. I was the narrator of the story of Arrow of God. So I'm very passionate about the arts and, music. If you look on my page, you will see me, you see some of the videos of narrating about Arrow of God. And when I read those stories and when I look at, and I'm hoping there will be more people. One of them is Tony Ubesie, whose books Isiaku Daranala. If you remember Tony Ubesie, Joe Binna.
Onyawa de Ukwaruogia.
Ukwaruogia.
Chike Chude na Ngozi.
Chude na Ngozi.
Yes.
Ukwaruogia. Oda. Owesia na Obinna wejekwulu dibia wesi dibia ya meli ogwu ka ndị soldier ya rijidia during the war. So dibia wesia na ogwu anya nyele ya na ọ na-agara ndị soldier ama afọ ya. So Obinna afụzie ndị soldier ka fa nọ n'ụzọ na-aga boldly. Soldier wesia, hey! Bịa ba so kene bi na-eje. Obinna si anyị n'afọ m. Asị ya mmụọ agụọla kịta ebe ya. Obinna wee lachapụ ọsọ. Obinna agbagidezie ndị soja achụbịa fe kwudori Obinna gbafuo. Ichi ezi oje na nke di dibịa ka ọ maazị ife mee. Ọfụ nwunye dibịa ka nwunye dibịa na-ebe akwa. Nwunye dibịa wee ọsịa ka ezi ife mee. Ọsịa na ndị soja kpụrụ di ya nnyaa. O wee bụ na soja akpụrụgo dibịa.
The source.
Obinna wee naba. Tony Ubesie was a great storyteller.
Oh, God.
So I was trying to do through my Nkemefuna Foundation to launch annual Igbo essay competitions. We were doing that, but we stopped it in a while. But then I now want to publish Igbo novels and plays written in Igbo. So if I get my planning right, I want to launch an Igbo competition or call for literature so that people can get published if they write in Igbo.
Yes.
Because there is something about language. You can't have a culture without language. I don't think anybody should be bothering about Igbo marginalization in Nigeria or Igbo absence in certain positions. Why? I think the more serious issue is the demise of the Igbo language. That's the more serious issue. Now, Igbo language in retreat. We have a next generation coming half of which ada asụ Igbo.
Nọ na nazi anabi Igbo language.
Yes. Maka even n'Enugu kịta ị ga-afụ ụmụazị bi n'Enugu asị gị na fa na-anụ mana fa ada asụ. Ịjụọ ma mịa asị gị na ọ na-anụkwanụ mana ọ da asụ.
Error.
So we need to revitalize language because without language there is no people, there is no culture. I need inwechite asụsụ anyị back. And asụsụ anyị abụrụkwa sọsọ na anyị ga na-asụ ya na nkata mana ọ ga na-develop ka enwe ike were ya wee na-describe other things. So ife dịka all the new words na-apụta AI, this one, ndị Igbo should be finding it. I ga-enwe a body every time they will be adding new words. Maka Hausa na-eme ya, other languages na-eme ya, Italian, English, enakata the English dictionary apụta. Google became a word to search for something. It wasn't an English word. Yes, there are words that have made it now to the dictionary because they keep assimilating new words. So ndị Igbo need to be assimilating new words ka anyị wee nwee ike na-akọwanwu modern terminologies and modern technology. Mana our language need to grow. So music and arts are two things I love greatly. And so if you go to maybe no n'Enugu with ogene with ndị ka Osita ma ị na-agba ọsọ. It's something about it. Afube m onye Igbo ga-abụ ọnụ ọja ma ogene ka yala ime maka it's at the core of onye Igbo.
Kedu best music ike mmazi elebo n'ọgwụ ife n'isi si na onye abịa kpa aka? Ọ
na-abụ repeat, ọ fọrọ ama repeat egwu somebody. Egwu a bụ egwu Isi Arinze. Isi Arinze bụ onye Obosi. Onye ọma zoro odo. Ike butekwanụ m ofu ugbe n'azụ ụlaga na-epiazụgo. Mmọnwụ ụlaga na-epiazụgo. Ọmamma niile chido biko lapụ zoro ka ọ nabazie. That's one of my favorites. Offer am any function. Yes.
Lastly, on this Obosi, kedu ife na-eselu unu n'Ọnịcha? Kedu onye gwala ibie? Asị na o gwala o ka ọ gwala o. Mana a na-ekwu okwu asị na Ọnịcha gwala Obosi ka Obosi gwala Ọnịcha. Kedu ndị gwala ibie ndị kedu ife agwadili ibie abịa sị ịma ka Ọnịcha si gwa Obosi asị na Obosi gwala Ọnịcha. Kedu ife ka ndị gwala ibie okwu ka ndị kedu ife na-ekwu dị
ma ndị Ọnịcha bụ ndị Obosi ejere akwụkwọ gboo. Ndị Ọnịcha jere akwụkwọ. So onye Obosi na-elesi ndị Ọnịcha anya. Onye Ọnịcha sị abịa biko adị ama ya sign ọlị ya. Ndị Obosi na-assign freehold. Fa mụrụ na na sign off freehold. So ọ bịakwa isi anyị sign ọsị anya sign ọ maka adị ama. Ọkọ sign ọlị ya akwụkwọ. That's what I heard, a version I heard. Mana I don't think na the okwu ka dị because the land didn't in issue. Elesigo ni anu. Ndị mmadụ alụsigo ụlọ dị. Ka agagonu. So a na-ekwuzi ya kịta ọ just ndị jizi akpazi ego. Ndị jizi something because the anya na-ekwuru maka elesigo ya. Ndị nwezi anaida ndị Obosi ma ndị Ọnịcha sef. So it's one of those things urbanization has overtaken.
Dalorinne. Let's talk about you politically, but before then, can you kusema maka Obosi before I buy politics? Anyway, just like you mentioned, I think I've bumped into it online. Mekaria Institute of Technology and Administration, MIT. Kedu ihe the institute is about, and then why? Because when I read about it, it was inspired by Chief Osita Chidoka. It means you have a role to play there. The institution, I'm before when I buy a touch. Or are you trying to rival the universities now? Are you trying to rival the colleges now? Are you trying to give us an alternative? Or are you trying to revolutionize education? Mekaria is all about. Go ahead, please.
So, Mekaria was monotechnic. Accredited, a polytechnic.
Okay.
Yes.
OND
and HTML. So, multiple.
Yes.
Mono is single. So monotechnics, you can have one or two areas of interest. But polytechnic, you can go from School of Administration, Mass Comm, journalism, you can do everything.
Yes.
And we may become a polytechnic as we go on, depending on how
Okay.
But the first thing I did was, I looked at the data. 1.9 million people. I've always had a Gbam CBT center. Even in the Gbam, Obosi for my property. Among the CBT Centre in Obosi.
I know.
And because of my love for education, I came around, maybe to see Jam CBT or wherever they are around in Obosi. So I built one. It doesn't pay its bills, but I like it. Over the last 10 years. 15,
Legacy.
Yes, it's been there over 12 years now. We've been doing it. So, when at Simba, 1.9 million people take JAMB. Before, it used to be 800,000 admission. Chances are available. So, about almost 1 million people roam around every year without admission. So, second one, the numbers have been increasing. The young people have been increasing. But I figured that society is changing. Many people cannot afford to go to university because they need to work, they need to trade, they need to do stuff. So the idea of open university came. When I now said, I looked at, in America, they have what they call community colleges. You go there and do 2 years and get a 2-year degree. Then you can go and top it up to get a 4-year degree. So I looked at our ordinary national diploma and I said, here is an opportunity. If we can get our young people across the state and everywhere who want to go to university but they can't get admission, to go to Makaria Institute, go through an OND, so they have 3 pathways ahead of them. From our OND, you can go straight to university to direct entry, so you don't need to write JAMB again. You go with direct entry to university.
Nice.
So, and you enter at 2nd year.
Nice.
You can go on and do HND and become, have an HND. And then you can go ahead and even start working with your OND.
Yes.
In the civil service, that's a level 6 job and, multiple places. So I felt that I needed to go to that niche. Everybody is doing university. But I said, university is not for everybody. Vocational, technical education is for some people. So if you come to Makaria now, you will do computer science. But we attached it with global certifications. While you are in Makaria, you will also do either AWS or Oracle or this certification. Because I want to prepare Nigerians for the global market. So if you study mass comm, you will then do YouTube analytics, Google analytics, you will have a certificate. You will go through the course and get certified. So you're a certified social media analyst if you do our mass comm. If you do our media technology, you will be an Adobe expert, you will do Photoshop, you will learn video editing, the kind of things going on here. So we want people to have skills, not certificates alone.
Yes.
Because I am an employer. Anytime I employ people, I ask you, what can you do? I don't want to know what degrees you have. I want to know, what can you do? Mbunyegi computer kita kedifi game. Mbunyegi this video I record oketi edit nwe. Yes. Tell me what you can do. So Makaria is about onye obuna ge Makaria. It came from my former boss, Ujo Madekwe. When he was running for House of Reps in 1983, his campaign slogan was Ojo ge Makaria. And he won that election. So the children in the village started calling him Makaria.
Noya's Healthy Living PAP is a strategic response to a critical problem, malnutrition. An innovative program kicked off on August 3rd, 2024, with free distributions across the 21 local government areas of Anambra State. This purely organic supplement is designed to combat malnutrition among Anambra children. Due to its high demands, the distribution has been stepped down to community levels and made available to residents in all 326 primary healthcare centers in Anambra State, free of charge. Noya's Healthy Living PAP, beating malnutrition in Anambra State.
So when I started working with him, I said the idea of Makaria, of continuous excellence, of going above and beyond. Ige Makaria, everybody should do more and do better. So I have a Makaria mentorship program on Facebook, which has about 9,000 people on the mentorship program. And the idea of Makaria is continuous excellence. So we want the next generation of young people. We're signing an agreement with Miva Online University. So when you finish from us, you get immediate admission to Miva, 2nd year. So you can continue online and get a degree. If you want to go to Chukwuemeka or Dumegu, you want to go to schools, we are signing agreements, University on the Niger. So with our students who want to continue through the university, there's a channel. Those who want to get a HND, there's a pathway. And we're working for our HNDs to begin to issue BTech degrees. That conversation is on in the country. So my attitude is we need middle manpower in the country. The people that should be working for you here now are not supposed to be university graduates. They're supposed to be people that have skills. They went to Mekaria, they have an OND, they have a certification in AWS, Azure, in cloud computing. They
Practical things.
Yes.
Practical things.
Yes. So while they are working for you, they can register online and get a degree from Miva, from Open University, or from Nnamdi Azikiwe, depending on their choice.
To back up
if that's what they want. Or they can go and get a HND. But we're making it easy because there is no way we're going to have 3-4 million young people in tertiary education. We don't have the manpower to even educate them. But with our online schooling in Mekaria, which has started, you can register with us. You can be attending classes online. We take proctored exams. The day you take your exam, you put on your computer. It will not allow you to turn to AI. You cannot move the computer face.
Yes.
You can't use any other thing. The camera must be on. Once we stop seeing you in the camera, the exam cuts off immediately. So the idea is that you have to learn skills back to the certificate that opens new pathways for you. So Mekaria is my experiment, an attempt to say Nigeria needs middle manpower and we need to create it. We need to be intentional about creating it, not just be saying it. So that all of us rush to university, you study music, philosophy, you study English, you study mass comm, this, but you can't do anything in today's world. I give you my YouTube page, I say analyze it. You don't know what to analyze. You don't know what
analytics.
The CTA is. You don't know what the analytics is. What value are you for me today in mass comm? You have no value. I have nothing for you. Because every time I look at my Facebook, I look at the insights, I look at how to optimize my page, I look at the time of the post, I look at the keywords, I look at, hashtags, how all this will interfere.
Algorithm,
how the algorithm will react to my writing. So these are the skills we need people to know, not just to say I'm a content creator. You need to know the mechanics of how it works.
The nitty-gritties.
So that's what Mekaria Institute is about. And we are hoping that we have more universities signed up agreements with, our students can go on, and we also have workforce people like you who will now come and say, I'm looking for a media tech guy who knows Adobe, who knows how to use Canvas, and we have them because they have real skills. They are certified to do all of that.
This is very pragmatic. I go to theater and film studies.
Okay.
Na UNIZIG. We're talking about Zeus, dinosaurs, Greek god. How does this apply to our life today? What do we do with this thing now to our life today? I've told them that content should be a course in some of these institutions. Content should be. This is a practical something.
Yes.
It's an idea of the opinion that some of the courses we're doing in the university now are antiquated and they shouldn't be studied again. Some of the courses.
The way I look at it, the courses are not the problem. The way I look at it is, and somebody just mentioned it to me yesterday, he said, we talk about the supply side of education. We don't talk about the demand side.
Yes.
We need to be asking that question as we are allocating numbers to courses.
Yes.
So, onye cholo onye me this course in Nigeria kita. Onye na chia. Then let's rephrase the course to what the market is looking for. So I don't even think we should talk about it by way of course. Oh, can you feel the market teacher? I be a judge you hell. Can you teacher him employ? I enjoy nothing. Can you nature? So we need to congregate the businesses and I find out. Can you feature? Then we now train the people to match what the market is looking for.
I'm na enwe business, so I have to release you. So kamo enwecha ihe church ejoge because I'm na agwa ngina oye na ali ukwoje jakpa yanko Canada ali akwada Ibubu aviation minister and everything. Let's talk about governance a little bit. Actually, what you did for ndị Igbo mgbe Igbo aviation minister when they say na Osita aviation minister and ekwu international airport did he actually attract one? And tell me what you think about the second airport as in the Anambra Naro, as somebody that has been in this industry for a while. Go ahead, please.
So first thing I always say, onye bịa sị na Osita ma attract international airport, man onye aba an illiterate. Because international airport dị n'Enugu.
Already.
Our sister, Stella Odua, while she was aviation minister, actually started from Njeze to get Yaradua to approve. Ike Kweremada started pushing Njeze. So, but eventually opened under Stella Odua when she was minister. Ethiopian Airlines na bi Enugu. So ihe na-agwa ndị Igbo unu chọọ ka more airlines bịa Enugu. Ichezina through Lagos and Abuja na ichi travel tinye ya na Enugu nje ewele Ethiopian Airline traveler. Other airlines fun Ethiopian Airline na-eju every day. Etinye no plane na Enugu no. Kenke bi na say attract airline. Go to attract. I don't make her attract. Airline na-eje ebe passenger din. Onye na-agwa ndị mmadụ je Lagos. Onye na-agwa any airline bido onye na-eje Lagos.
People na-eche dia.
Enugu Air ka m ji bịa n'ụtụtụ ọ na-alarụ na Abuja bulu ndị Abuja bịa Enugu larụ na Lagos bulu ndị Lagos bịa Enugu. Why ode eje na Makurdi Park ma na Kano? Why ode eje Adamawa Park? Eje ebe passengers dịnụ. Ọ bụrụ ya?
Yes.
So ihe anyị need ime bụ onye si na ya bụ onye Igbo na ilcha ka ndị Igbo nwee ichi travel biko hapụ Lagos hapụ Abuja na banye Airpeace bata Enugu banye Ethiopian Airline. Ndị Ethiopia kịta abido mebe daily flight to Enugu asị na ha na-enwe 60% throughput. Turkish ga-ajoin nufa.
Kenya abịa.
Kenya ga-ajoin nufa ozugbo na onye fụ passenger si na ya meje. So anyị nwere international airport n'Igbo land. That terminal if we na-alụ ọfụ there, our sister Stella Odua started it and I continued it as minister. It wasn't part of the loan from the Chinese, Ejuelo, Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Port Harcourt. Because the Chinese is in a traffic in Enugu, and Enugu cannot pay the loan. Our sister got the president to approve that special intervention, paid for by the budget of Nigeria to build that terminal. So, ndị Igbo ada ihe na-eme na Igbo land bụ abịara asị gị ndị Igbo ada afọ onwe ha na anyị nwa bụ ndị na-ekwu ya mana ọ bụrụ eziokwu. Na ọ bụrụ ndị obodo ọzọ nsa kendio ndị Hausa 20 million children out of school.
Alamajeru's everywhere.
Kendi ọzọ ndị nje compare number of students in school we are the best in Nigeria. Infant mortality we have the lowest in Nigeria. Maternal mortality we have the best in Nigeria. What are you talking about again? Check it. 93% of ụmụ Anambra si primary school na-eje secondary school. 93%. Yes, highest in Nigeria. So, amarom why we always denigrate ourselves. Just amarom more the war melaya. We just like to denigrate ourselves. Okay. Abu no iche ke ife na-eme na Nigeria in aviation sector. Lagos was a former national capital. Abuja was a capital. So already there is government business in those two places. So that already attracts international airlines. Most countries don't even allow airlines to go to other places except their capital, so that their local airlines will be doing the last mile. So it's a normal tactics by some countries. You can land only in one place, so that when you choose anywhere, or by your local airline. But in Nigeria, we gave them, people can land in Kano, they can land in Enugu, they can land in Port Harcourt. In Ijomaka, the second airport, Anambra. So what I tell people is that Obro Airport but the issue. I live in Washington, D.C., and I stay in D.C., Maryland. Inside D.C., there is Dulles Airport, there is BWI Airport, and there is Reagan Airport. So, of course, it's 3 states combined that occupy this place, but all these airports are within the 100-mile radius. And they're all working. So what is important is, what is the vision for the airport? So that's the first question I asked. When I heard the number wants to be the governor said, no, an industrial area, a industrial park together with the airport, because airport is critical to attracting big industry. If Aliko Dangote had no airport in Lagos, that he can't land in Lagos, he won't build a refinery in Lagos. In Obajana, he built an airfield because he doesn't want to go to Obajana and spend the whole day driving from Lokoja to Obajana. So when he wants to go to his cement factory, he flies to Obajana from Lagos. So for most part, the heavy industry has to go with transport facility. Don't think of airport, think of transport infrastructure. So I think that Anambra is getting it right in finding that area, which offers us a second opportunity. And I believe the governor will do that, to build a dual runway in the southeast. Because in Enugu, we can't do it again. There's no land. In Umuleri, we don't have it. In Owerri, I don't think we can do it again now. So we need to be thinking, because don't forget that today, Nigeria is 200 and something million people. In 24 years, 2050 will be 400 million people. Anambra, that is talking 6 million plus now, will be almost 12 million people in Anambra. Just Mechigodanyagi, as the governor will say, just close your eyes and think of 12 million people living here. In the southeast, is even more serious because we only have 29,000 square kilometers of land. Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, Abia, and Imo combined is 29,000 square kilometers. In my state, over 29,000 square kilometers in Nigeria. Kogi. The whole of Kogi, but the size of the whole of Southeast.
The whole?
Yes. Kogi State.
Lokoja.
Kogi, yeah. It's the size of the Southeast. Benue is 53,000 square kilometers. So it is almost twice the Southeast. Now, what is the problem with the 29,000 square kilometers is that erosion is already taking almost a third of that, especially in Anambra. So we need to begin to think, where are we going to live? If we continue to bury everybody who died today now in our houses, it will be one huge burial ground. That's why you say, any mausoleum or anything. Just put the aja, cocoa flower there. Any don't chelo no there, buffalo the throw a lolo no there. But we don't have the luxury. We can't turn a place into a burial ground. We suffer from an acute shortage of water, all the way from Aguata down to Enugu, parts of Okigwe, Ogu, Oji River, Ogu, and Nri, all the way to Afipo, down to Ohafia. We don't have any large body of water. You can't drill boreholes that will survive. If you do boreholes in most of parts of Aguata, it dries up after some time. We have acute shortage of lack of water. Why are Igbos leaving Igbo land to other places? Because of we don't have a lot of natural resources like water. That is a major drawback we have. We don't have internal bodies of water. And our water in Ishiagu in Ebonyi, the former Senate president, tried everything to get water. He couldn't. Ojo Madekwe tried everything in Ohafia to get water. I say, you can't. The white man has done the geophysical surveys and said there are no water. There's no water here. So what in effect that means is that we need to be planning our future around industrialization and services. So we don't have land much for agriculture, but we can do agro-processing. We can partner with Kogi and Benue and become the processors. So thinking about airport infrastructure is critical to our growth as a people. We need to build a transport infrastructure. And I'm one of those who say, please, let's leave this rail talk for now. Let's build our roads. Make sure that it is 580 kilometers from Onitsha to Owerri, Owerri to Aba, Aba to Umuahia, Umuahia to Abakaliki, Abakaliki to Enugu, Enugu back to Onitsha. It's 580 kilometers. Only. So if we can dualize, strengthen, use stone base, use cement base so that the roads last long, we can transport everything within the southeast immediately.
Didn't you buy into the sentiment of foreigners say Naroro second airport? The first one is not even up to standard. Play another land in Naban, and there's no light. Land in Naban. There are the foreigners na eba categorical warehouse. You know, do you feel that
No, it doesn't follow. It doesn't follow. Because two airports can achieve two different things. So that's the way I look at it. You know, because I'm a transport specialist and I trained in transportation, I found something about transport infrastructure. You can never tell what it will turn to. Do you understand? It's something that you can never fully model. Yes. Everybody was so sure that Alura Airport Nonicha to be very successful. That was the Oba Airport.
Yes.
Oh, I have seen this. There's still no traffic. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because you can't model. You can model behavior to some extent. You can model, yes. But my attitude is that once people have a resource, please invest in transport infrastructure because it will open up opportunities you could not have seen without that infrastructure. So I am of the view that our growth trajectory, the Umueri Airport will have a different growth trajectory from that Anambra Airport in the middle of Igbo land, because that way you are now heading towards Enugu, Abia, Anambra combined. So it will have different trajectories and it will grow well.
Dalo. Lastly, some of us feel that you are the politician without political party these days, and I focus Afro-Tanaya without Pugan and Cape Bazwa. And I know they're still calling you governor for a very long time. So Anama Bibosi, Nana Mebono Fogin to a governor because I'm not a to you. For those Jobosi now said that this man has the ticket for an Obosi man to become the number one in Anambra State. And for the rumor that Ikobosi were interest. Izogo so many times. I think I've seen you under UPP and everything. Ikobosi, Kedo address this. Do you think you're destined to be the governor of Anambra State? And are we expecting to see you on the ballot box and then contesting fiercely to become 001 Anambra State come the next election? Go ahead, please.
Every my life, Nokita. I'm in a phase of my life where I have left partisan politics and faced policy issues, trying to bring solutions to governance through evidence and thinking. So I'm just going to stay on that lane for now until such a time when politics is always a pool for all of us who have beaten it before. But now I feel that there are various levels of support and you can give to governance. And where I am now, I'm enjoying it. I'm the vice chairman of the Anambra State Education Council, which is something of my passion. I'm excited about it. The free education in Anambra, the restoration of our public schools, the free medical care going on in Anambra. I always say to government, we can't succeed if the majority do not have quality education. The minority that can go to private schools are okay, but they're not going to be the ones that will be custom officers. Operanda Ajela America EJ School and notably immigration officers. They're not going to become soldiers. They're not going to become DSS officers. So we have to train a manpower for Nigeria, for the state. They're not going to work in the Anambra State Transport Service. They're not going to work in the Anambra State Civil Service. So we need to train people, and that's my passion now. Evidence-based analysis and policy support to governance, and then also education, making sure that the vast majority of our children get educated. On another time and another day, in another season, we will see what happens after that.
If we get to the bridge, let's cross it. Congratulations. Because now your final remark as well, Gbam, I know people time to at least say the last week, but then we hear add more, emphasize it. We call it take your time. Your final remark, can I shout out more any other thing you want to, so that we'll call it a day. Go ahead, please.
Basim can end by Kenegin Menoke Makanam. If you name Madro Fele.
Thank you, boss.
In Onoka, we na akpọku ndị mmadụ, we na-ekwu ka ọ ga-esi dịla obodo mma, wee nwee ike na-agwa ụwa niile ife na-eme n'ala Igbo ọ ife dị mma si ojide ka iji.
Thank you, boss.
Ọ ga-abalụ gị and ọ ga-amụta ulu maka na ife na-abụ onye mere ọgbanaba Lagos onye mere ọgbanaba Abuja bụ kedu ife a na-achọ n'ike ofe anụ ka a na-achọ anyị ga-achọta ya na Anambra ebe a n'ike ọkụ. So ife nsị ka nje gị bụ ka mgbaa gị ume si gị jisi ike na ife na-eme dị mma na ụmụ ikolobịa na ụmụ agbọghọbịa nọ na Anambra na fa ga-abala anyị ulu na Anambra maka na ife anyị na-ayọ bụ anyị chọrọ onye gosi akwụkwọ jesia mahadum inwegodi first class inwetu one ibilikwa na Anambra na-alụ ọrụ na Anambra and ụdị ife iyi na-eme ọ maka ọ bụrụzi gọọmenti ga-ewezi ndị mmadụ n'ọrụ ife iyi na-eme ụdị ife onye ọbụla nọdụ na-eme nke ya ga-eme ka obodo anyị gaa n'iru. So asị m ka ngwa ndị ụmụ okolobịa na ụmụ agbọghọ nọ na Anambra na ife dị n'iru ụka nke iru ụka ana Osita ada dị mma n'ọdịba gboo. So na ife anyị ga-eme bụ na onye ọbụla ga-ejisi ike mekarịa nke dị mkpa maka na taa bụ gboo onye ọbụla ga-ejisi ike ka anyị mee karịa. So mgbe na-asị na m ga-agbafe ume na ka o si na dị ọ dịkata njọ na ọ ga-adị mma ana bụ na anyị gbakọ ọnụ a sị na agbakọ ọnụ nyọma mere omega na ọgba ụfụfụ. So na ya ka anyị ga-eji wee wele igwe bụ ike a wele ọnọdụ a wele ndị dị ka gị na ife ị na-eme afọ ụmụ ndị na-alụsị ego ọlụfụ ndị gị na fanọhịa ụmụazị na-alụ ọlụ mgbe mmadụ 9 nọhịa na-eme ya wesịa ndị mmadụ n'ọlụ ọ bụrụ ya bụ n'ọlụ adị. So anyị na-ayọ and ndị be anyị kwa nọ n'indọstrị ndị nwee businesses ka unu bịakwa na sọpọtụ ndị be anyị na-eme ife anụnwa maka advertisement ka this business ji atrive na ndị anụnwa a na-akpọkwanụ content creator ndị a bụ media moguls na Lagos bụ maka na onwe ndị na-echukwafa. So biko ọ bụrụ na onye nọdụ ebe ọ nọ ịchọ ịgbasa ozi ịchọ ka ime ife ndị mmadụ ga-anụ ịchọ ka ndị mmadụ nụ ife ị na-eme bịa na nke ya mbaba.
Daalụ nne Ike Obosi the governor daalụ nne ịma na ife nchụ iju eri ka nọ na ọdụ ụlọ ọsịsọ biko nna ayọ yi mgbe ọbụla ị nwere efe maka na ịbụ onye Igbo gbasiri ike and ịma na ife anaghị na Igbo kịta currently anyị kwesịrị na-etinye ọra ndị ngwa you have paid your dues biko enwekwa ka o si wee dị ịbịakwa anyị etinyekwa ọrụ na 1 or 2 days ọ bụrụ 30 minutes anyị na-anọli. Thank you for coming. Is a pleasure. Ndị be anyị ebe a ka anyị ga-eweta na njedebe n'oge Gbam tata anyị na-ekene Chief Barrister Osita Chidoka Ike Obosi the governor bịa nọrela anyị tata ngwa n'afọ nka bụ Chidoka Igwendụ ezigbote onye Aba ka o mesịanụ udo. Ndị be anyị unu kpọrọ ya bụ oku anyị azago ugbu a ị ga-abụ onye ọbịa na Gbam n'agbanyeghị ebe ọbụla ị nọ n'ụwa. Ị chọrọ ka anyị gbaa gị ajụjụ ọnụ maọbụ ị chọrọ ka ụwa nụ ọnụ gị deere anyị ozi maọbụ kpọọ anyị n'akara ekwentị ndị a ị na-ahụ n'iru onyonyo.